We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 558. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week, he is the one and only, the man of many hats, and they are better hats than the ones you own. Yes, you, I'm talking to you. He is Scholar Pete. Scholar Pete, how are we feeling tonight, sir?
Feeling pretty good, as I live and breathe, from time to time. But
You didn't open with the "As I live and breathe."
yeah,
You're slipping, boss. You're slipping.
I'm not slipping because let's talk about the elephant in the room. Scholar Brian, he hurt his ribs, ladies and gentlemen, playing basketball. And why did he do it? Because he's a fighting champion, but not a fighting champion right now, where we're going into AEW Redemption, where I should be getting my redemption, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you feel what I feel, the pain of losing my belt to the wheel, to losing my party championship to my fellow co-host here tonight. It is blasphemy, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to let me know in the comments. This weekend, you are Team
Oh,
Pete, and we will have Brian give me a title shot.
Uh, well, you know what? I didn't want to put you on blast like that. I didn't want to say that I am your new Scholars of Wrestling Party Champion, but a title that I have richly won and appropriately won from your lovely self. I didn't want to go there because I didn't want to put you on blast like that. But most of all, I know that it is a new day. It is a new world of wrestling predictions. And this weekend, there is a brand new AEW pay-per-view, AEW
Mhm.
Redemption. And that means we are here to predict it. We are here to predict every single match. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to might make some predictions about who might be debuting because in case you haven't missed it, ladies and gentlemen, the latest round of WWE releases, the 90-day no compete clause expires as of this recording. So if anyone is going to get signed by AEW, chances are good that they're going to make their debut this weekend. Will anyone debut? Who will debut? When will they debut? That's going to be a part of it. You, sir, you in the hat in the front row.
Yes, yes. D- I'm here from wrestling. We are wrestling, wrestling, wrestling. We would just like to ask a question.
I'm a huge fan of wrestling, wrestling. We are wrestling, wrestling.
Thank
Love
you,
that
thank you.
website.
We started in good old Whitnock, Wyoming, and it's been a story ever since. But let's talk for real, Scholar Jeff, where I tell you, like, a lot of big names could show up this weekend. We'll obviously go into the predictions, but I feel like we could have a number of um, free agents be coming into AEW. We've seen some teasers from outside of both wrestling, of personal Twitter and Instagram posts of a certain tag team who I am, everybody knows is one of my favorite tag teams. So what could happen? What do you feel? What's your hype level on seeing a lot of new faces this
Hype
weekend?
level on a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I'm going to say a 4. A 4 because I'm not entirely certain. I'm not that certain, rather, that we're going to see too many new signings, if any. But I think there's a good, solid chance that we're going to see something magical happen, especially leading into All In this year. So, on that note, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into predictions for AEW Redemption 2026. Starting with our first match on the card, we've got in the first, I believe, of its kind, a double chain tag team match between the Bang Bang Gang and the Dogs. For this one, I feel this one's honestly a little tough, but I'm going to go with the Bang Bang Gang just because I feel like they need to get not so much they need to get a win back alone, but just the fact that Jay White has finally made his return after all this time. Could it go to the Dogs? Yes. Am I confident in this pick? No. But I think the Bang Bang Gang just ekes it out just a little bit in my mind. then I'm going to go with the Bang Bang Gang for the win. Pete, how about you? What's your pick between the Bang Bang Gang and the Dogs?
I mean, it's got to be the Bang Bang Gang. Like you said, I feel it ultimately comes down to Jay White coming back. You got to have a big match to come back, and I think he gets the win, obviously. And I mean, I think this will be a good setter for AEW because that's the one thing we know about AEW. It's going to put on a hell of a show, and I think if this opens, I think this could be incredible. And again, everybody loves Jay White. Let's fucking see it.
All right, that'll bring us to our next match on the card, which is a number one contendership ladder match for the international title. We have, and follow me on this one, we've got Jack Perry, the Beast Mortos, Commander, Speedball Mike Bailey, Nick Wayne, and El Clone in this ladder match. But that's not the real question here. The question here, Pete, is who's going, in your view, is going to win this ladder match for the number one contendership for the international championship?
So we got to be logical here, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're going to be logical. There's a certain wrestler here that just currently re-signed with AEW, and I really think they're not going to what's the word? Kill his character on his first pay-per-view back. I think we have a Jack Perry win right here without question. I don't see why anybody would doubt that. I think it's the way to go, especially after re-signing. You're showing confidence in him, and I think it's going to be an incredible match. Again, it's a ladder match. It's AEW. It should be my redemption tour, Brian, but we won't go there.
Oh, if you will go there, you will go there in due time, I'm sure. But honestly, for this one was a tough one. I feel like this could go any number of ways. That being said, I believe you do have a bit of a point here. Jack Perry did just re-sign, and looking at this, I'm thinking this can go any number of ways. Even then, it's not a sure thing. But if anything is going to tip any number of ways, I've got to believe that Jack Perry, this whole thing is about as good, makes as much sense as anything else. So yeah, I too am going to go with Jack Perry for the win in this match. But that will bring us to our next match for the DPS Championship. We've got Hikaru Shida defending her title against the new and upcoming, the superstar Maya World, who's has been making an absolute splash lately. But be that as it may, I really am not too confident that that splash that she's making is going to translate to a TBS title win quite this soon, especially after Hikaru Shida just won it. Hikaru Shida is just too much of a veteran in my mind. I feel like as much momentum as Maya World has right now, I'm just not sold yet. Will she get it eventually? Yeah. My guess is probably at All In. But for this show, I think Shida is going to retain. Pete, how about you?
This is a hard one to talk about, Jeff, because you bring up many points. And also, Shida hasn't had the TBS title very long. So it's you know what? We're going to be exciting here, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel like, this or that, but we're not going to be exciting yet. I concur with my fellow scholar. Obviously, Shina is going to retain. I don't think it's Maya's world yet. I think it will be her world very soon, but you could definitely have a good couple matches and give her the belt maybe at All In. That would be my thought with it. Put it on her at All In and go from there.
All right. Next match is one I think you're going to have more than a fair amount of interest in. We've got John Moxley and Will Ospreay of the Death Riders, unofficially, I guess. I still have a hard time thinking of Will Ospreay as being a part of the Death Riders, but I digress. John Moxley and Will Ospreay going up against the one and only Young Bucks. Pete, it's your pick up first. Who do you think is going to walk away with the win? And is what's going to happen here tonight what I think is going to happen here tonight?
So there's a lot to unpack here, Jeff. Shall we unpack it together?
Unpack away, my good man.
This is obviously Will Ospreay's year to become champion. There's no secret. We've said it on this channel many of times. I believe Scholar Brian and Scholar Tark have indeed said its praises as well. The fact is, they are not losing this match. John Moxley and Will Ospreay are winning this match. The more interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously what they're building with John Mox, Ospreay, Kenny Omega, and that love triangle that I'm loving every second of, ladies and gentlemen, because you know those are just three great workers who love to put on a performance. So I feel like post match there's going to be some shenanigans, but I think at the end of the day, I was going to say the Young Bucks, but I think you can't have Will lose. I think this has to be, he's got to win out. The other thing I'm going to throw you at, Scholar Jeff, and you know what's coming. After this match, you have the Young Bucks, you know, just chilling, chilling. What if the Motor City Machine Guns come to AEW and challenge the Young Bucks? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I would shed a tear because that would just be poetry in motion. And I think that is where you will see the first of two AEW debuts with the Motor City Machine Guns coming at the end. I think there's gonna be something with Will Ospreay and John Moxley. Something's gonna happen, and they're gonna go off. Like something's gonna happen. The Young Bucks are gonna be in the ring, say something, and then the Motor City Machine Guns are gonna come. Is that going to happen? No. But what is going to happen is John Moxley and Will Ospreay is winning this match. But Jeff, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, honestly, I don't think you're that far off. I would also agree with a Mox Osprey victory technically. Where the only place we really differ here is the tag team that will debut this night. Would I love to see the Motor City Machine Guns debut in AEW
Don't you
here?
dare.
Absolutely.
Don't you dare.
But if
Don't,
there's any match, if there's any tag team that's going to show up
don't you
and
dare say it.
interfere or show up after a Young Bucks match, after all the history they've had, if any tag team is going to
Don't say
debut
it.
here, it has to be Austin Creed and Kofi.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be that they're going to show up and leading to the dream match that we've all wanted to see at All In at Wembley, the Young Bucks versus Austin Creed and Kofi at long damn last. But
What happens
again,
if it's a, go with me on this, a double debut?
that would not be unheard of.
Well,
But
I think back to the Adam Cole, Danielson, where you had Adam Cole come out and everybody lost their shit. And then you have Danielson come out. I mean, you could easily have the Motor City Machine Guns because I will give it to the team formerly known as New Day. I will give it to them for more of a pop wise. But I think if you get Motor City Machine Guns to go do a little thing and then get that little pop and then to be taken in by them just to be like and have those 16 those six men staring off. Oh, let me tell you something. Tear in my eye.
I'll tell you what, I don't think it's impossible. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say it's likely. But I think, honestly, if they do end up doing exactly what you're describing, I think we're going to see this match much later on in the show.
Hmm.
Personally, I think we're going to get one of the two teams. I think that's a fairly safe bet to
Hmm.
make. However, I think if there's going to be another debut, I think it's going to be later on in the night, but
Hmm.
we'll
Hmm.
get to that.
I just can't wait for Scholar Brian and Scholar Tarek to be like, so you guys were talking about Will Ospreay, John Moxley, and the Young Bucks, and you spend a good part of it talking about teams that are debuting.
Hey, in our defense here, we are in a very unique time in the wrestling world where a
Hmm.
whole
Hmm.
lot of free agents are about to hit the market, And you know for a fact that a company as big as AEW and has an eye for talent as much as AEW, they're going to at least give a bunch of these people some consideration at the very least. But we're digressing just a tad. Let's move on to another tag match. We've got Cage and Cope defending the AEW tag team titles against more members of the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. For this one, I'm going to say that Cage and Cope are also going to defend their titles, but frankly, in my opinion, this can go any number of ways. But after the match, I'm thinking that this is where we see the Motor City Machine Guns show up, and then that will lead into another match setting up for All In, Cage and Cope for the AEW Tag Team titles against Motor City Machine Guns. Now that's a dream match. Pete, what say you?
God damn it. I love when you have a great idea. I second that. I mean, every word, just write it down. It's exactly what you said. I mean, that's beautifully said. I don't see Cope and Cage losing. There was obviously talks about maybe the Young Bucks and them at All In, but the reality is, if you had these two teams debut, it does make sense in hindsight to have maybe, you know, uh, the Motor City Machine Guns come in on Cope and Cage and have their moment at All In. But I don't see Cope and Cage losing. They're not going to lose until Wembley. It's just who they're going to lose the belts to at Wembley. But Cope and Cage for the win.
All right, that will bring us to our next match on the card. For the International Championship, we've got Kyle Fletcher defending his championship against Bandito. Pete, your pick up next. Which way you going on this one?
This is a tough one
It is, isn't it?
because I feel like the heart, and this is where me and Scholar Brian always share a good thought process. We don't play with our hearts, and everybody in their heart want Bandito to win. But I am going to make the prediction that Kyle Fletcher will retain his title. It seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, the Bandito is going the Darby Allen route, where not bad, where, but I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, but when that patience and that time wears off, we're going to be ready for Bandito to take the title. But for right now, I think he's just one more away, and I think that's when he will take it is All In, obviously. But I think for this match, Kyle Fletcher with the win. What say you,
Yeah,
sir?
I'm gonna agree with you on this one. My heart, my heart's conflicted. I feel like Bandito can is one of those people in is gradually turning into in AEW, one of those people who can be one of those people who can beat anyone on on the roster on any given night. But then again, I feel like Kyle Fletcher is on a similar trajectory here. This is what makes this match in particular so difficult to predict because this is on a night like this, I feel like this can go either way. It really can.
Are you
I
going with your heart, Jeffrey?
I am going to go with the safe bet for this particular one. I'm going to go with Kyle Fletcher to retain. But if any of our fellow scholars, when they turn in their predictions for this evening, any one of them, if they do end up picking Bandito, I would not give them a second look.
Listen,
'Cause
Charlie's going to pick Bandito. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie's going to take Bandito.
I
Just
am
you
going to
wait.
be legitimately shocked if no one else on this group picks Bandito
I
because
can't. I can't see anybody
it's
taking it.
not an unreasonable pick. It really is not.
I'm not saying it's not unreasonable. I'm just saying the safe money, and I think the prediction of who's walking out is got to be Kyle. I
I
think
don't
we'll
think
be
it's that
singing.
safe though. I don't
I
think it's
think
that safe. I really
I think
don't.
we'll be singing a different tune at All In. I think all of us will be singing a different tune at All In. But listen, we're only halfway through the card. We got plenty of card to go through, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes. We still have, well, next match on the card. We've got a no holds barred match. We've got the Painmaker, Chris Jericho, going up against Tommaso Ciampa. Finally, this feud is coming to a head. And for this one I gotta go with the safe money. I'm gonna go with Jericho to win. But then again, this, like Kyle Fletcher Bandito, I feel like it would not be unheard of for Tommaso Ciampa to go over in this one. At the peak of this feud, I I can see Tommaso Ciampa going over because he, not that he's young, but he's a new guy. He can afford to be put over by Teflon Chris Jericho. I'm not as uncertain as I for this match as I was with Fletcher Bandito, but there is still a reasonable amount of doubt with this one. That
Hmm.
being said, I'm going to follow my gut on this one. I'm going to go with Chris Jericho for the win. Pete, how about you?
Let me tell you, my goodness gracious, you have Santa Claus versus the guy from formerly known as the Jericho Show. So let's talk about it. We got old man Chris Jericho coming out, winning this match because he ain't losing against Ciampa. But it's again, like Mr. Scholar Jeff said, there's no disrespect to you, Tommaso Ciampa. I think this is something where Jericho goes, I want to have a match with you. I want it to be a fucking crazy hardcore. Like, give me my last big hardcore match. And Tommaso Ciampa went, okay. And he's like, I'll take the fall. I think this is going to be a bloody ass match. I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be the most brutal match. Obviously, no holds, but I just think this is for all intent. I think this is going to be Jericho's last big. Like, this is my last big match. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, and Scholar Jeff, you know what I'm talking about. Like the Hell in the Cells, the cage matches, the ladder. I think this is his last big match. And I think he's going to be with Tommaso Ciampa. So, in Jeff's defense, I absolutely can see why you would think Tommaso Ciampa could get the rub here. And I don't doubt it. But again, similar to the Bandito, Kyle Fletcher match. It's you got to lean a little bit more, and what I lean a little bit more is on Y2J because Jeff, you just made the list.
All right, that is another one. It's academic. That will go over to our next match, which will be for the international title. We've got Mark Davis defending his championship against Andrade El Idolo. Pete, it's over to you. Which way you going here?
Eldrade. I mean,
Eldrade. It's
listen,
getting late. Leave us alone.
real and true. Appreciate. Yeah, I see we have a new national champion coming out of here. Especially how the story's going and everything, even way back to with the MJF. There's no doubt in my mind the man's winning the belt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Andrade here too, which I admit for a minute there, I thought that I was gonna be the only one. But I gotta admit, as much as Mark Davis has grown on me, I feel like Andrade is definitely on a bit of an upward momentum, and this is gonna be the perfect spot for him to sort of build up his stock, bide his time until his time in the main event scene is ready and raring to go. Because as in my mind, capability wise and overness, he's already there. Probably the most over he's been in a very, very long time. So this is absolutely the way to go here. Give more stuff to Andrade for being a good sport and being probably the most entertaining he's been in years. That will bring us over to our penultimate match of the evening, which I believe to be for the AEW Men's World Championship. We've got Kenny
Well,
Omega
we got
defending
the
his.
AEW Women's World Title.
Yeah, I'm placing that in as a possible contender for the main event, but we'll get to that in just a moment.
Oh, a little teaser there, Jeffrey. I
Yeah,
like it.
it's a teaser.
I
But yeah,
like it.
Kenny Omega, Kevin Knight. This is going to be an easier one to predict. There's no way Kenny Omega does not retain his title against Kevin Knight. It's going to be a great showcase for Kevin Knight. His stock is going up too. But ultimately, it's going to be all about Kenny Omega this night. Pete, what say you?
I mean, if I had to, ladies and gentlemen, if there was a match that I could say is a guarantee correct one, and I think all this fellow scholars will agree. Scholar Jeff was just praising it before. Kenny Omega is not losing this goddamn championship. I don't care. You could put up anybody against him right now. He ain't losing. It's it's the wonderful thing where again we've this is what I've been talking for most of this show. We've been talking about people and the post match. Is there going to be anything with Kenny Omega post match with Will with Mox? Like, is anything out of the ordinary going to come? Like, I'm curious to see with that because as I believe Kenny Omega will 100,000,000,000% win this match. I do believe that something may occur afterwards, and that afterwards has me curious.
Scholars quick talk then in the spirit of that. If there is a debut immediately after this match, who do you think it's going to be?
For Kenny, oh man, put me on the spot, sir. I don't like that.
What will you do? Who will you choose? If any. If you don't believe that anyone is going to show up after this match, that's a perfectly valid pick to make.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't. There's nobody that springs to my mind. That's why I think it. Again, I don't think it's going to be crazy, Jeffrey. I'm not saying like the world's going to go on fire after Kenny Omega's match. I'm saying there's going to be something that goes down. Like, but I don't think it's somebody like. I think it might be in house. I think it is an AEW star. It's just somebody that nobody would expect. I don't think anybody right now on waivers or on the bench or free agents, like who you putting in, who you subbing in there. I just don't. I think this will be a tag team debut match. That's why I think, like you said before, I think it's Motor City Machine Guns. I think it's the team formerly known as the New Day coming in, and that's where I think it's going to be more tag team because. Correct me if I'm wrong. You enjoy WWE far more than I know me and Scholar Tarek do. Wasn't there like a tag team match recently that was just like not great? Or am I
Given the
crazy?
amount of the amount of production and TV shows that they make these days, I'm sure there's a lot of like mediocre, just okay wrestling. So technically, I'm sure that there has been, but again, just because it was just okay, nothing is immediately springing to mind.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get you. I get you. But no, I don't think anybody, I think it's in, even if it's like MJF. Like I know he's taking some time off, but give a little thing, just know like, hey, I'm coming, motherfucker. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like a little trinkle. And that's why I think like, that's why MJ, something like that, or even like Will coming out to be like, all right, motherfucker, I'll see you at All In. Like something. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it will be a debut as much as something's going to happen. But
Yeah, I think it's very unlikely that anybody is going to show up after this particular match. But I will say, if I had the pencil, if I had my way, immediately after the match, Kenny Omega wins, and then right after the match, all the members of the Wyatt Six come out there and completely destroy Kevin Knight. Just say, hey, we're here, spooky laugh, blow out a lantern, do something with the Wyatts, or at least something with Joseph Sawyer, at the very least. Do something with somebody somewhere. Thank you very large. But now we go to our final match of the card. We've got for the AEW Women's Championship, we've got Tekla defending against Willow Nightingale. I will say, I love Willow Nightingale. Everyone in this house loves us some Willow Nightingale, but I'm gonna go. We know what the end game is at All In, so I've got to go with Tekla for the win, defending her title. And I think we're going to see another debut after this match, I think we're going to see Kairi Hojo. Maybe setting up for another match against Willa Nightingale, or just saying, hey, the walls are closing in around you, Tekla. I may not be your challenger right now, but I'm going to sail the high seas and I'm going to make sure that none of your posse interrupts my posse. And then we get a fair fight at all in. That's my pick, and I'm sticking to it. Pete, how about you?
Oh, it was off the top, Scholar Jeff. Beautiful. I love that idea. I love that debut. Let's talk about this for a minute. Because I love this topic with a certain somebody. Um, this is obviously setting up for All In, and who my girl, seen around the world, is coming for. But as you all know, if you watch this channel, and please subscribe if you would, is I am a big fan of Tekla. And I have said many of times on this show, have I not, Scholar Jeff, that Tekla will not lose this belt until All In. I've been saying it when I was champion. I was saying it before I was champion because Tekla ain't losing. But Jeff, is she going to lose? We all love Willow. And is it going to be her night to dethrone my girl, Tekla, so she could go one on one with my other girl, Mercedes Mooney? But the real answer is Tekla is going to retain. I think as much as I would like to see maybe a little swerve, and if it is indeed the main event, I could see the swerve, but I like the Kyrie coming in with the ship and doing that. Like that, you have turned me around, Scholar Jeff. You have turned me around on this match because I was gonna go against my girl, but you know what? At the end of the day, you gotta. I think story wise, it's just better if Tekla goes in. But you could argue, well, it's this. Let me tell you something. For a Tekla match, this is the most invested I've ever been in a match because of her future as my champion. Is she going to retain? Ladies and gentlemen, that is the best guess I could give. But Tekla is my final answer, and I feel that is the right answer. But I do like that debut, though, Jeff. Truly do like that debut.
Yes, I truly believe that we're going to see more than our fair share of surprises. Because,
The
again,
redemption.
yeah, at Redemption, this was as a card and as a build. I feel like this is, let's be real, that we all know that this is the big show leading up to their biggest show of the year. This is like not Backlash, but whatever the roadblock or whatever leading up to WrestleMania.
No way
Expectations,
out?
no way out, whatever it is. I'm blanking, but you know what I'm talking about. It's that match before one of their biggest shows of the year. So they're just sort of spinning their wheels until they get to the point where you're actually going to see what the end game is going to be leading up to there. But even so, you know you're going to get some excellent matches. How could you not? This is an AEW supercard. It's what you expect.
So where's
But
your level at? Where's your hype level? Tell the people where you at, 1 to 10. How excited are you for AEW
my hype
Redemption?
level, I'm going to put as a six. Not so much for the matches, because we already know they're going to be good, but more so for this time about as to who is going to be showing up, who is going to debuting for the company, because there are a whole lot of really incredible talent that's ripe for the picking right at the perfect time. And this, of all places, is not only going to be the source of pure entertainment and just contribute to the overall memorability of this kind of a show, but it will also absolutely build up hype and build up, more importantly, more ticket sales for All In at Wembley Stadium, because I've got to believe there's still a whole lot of seats left.
But 100% to just quickly go off that, like that's like this is I feel the appetizer to the main course that is all in, and I think with this they're gonna have some apps and you're gonna look at some stuff, but they're gonna throw you that like fried mozzarella, they're gonna throw you that garlic bread, they're gonna throw you that nachos, and you're gonna soon say, "Ooh, I didn't see this, I didn't see that." I think it's going to be a show that everybody's going to come away with a match that they enjoyed. I'm going to say all the matches are going to be great. We're not arguing that. Like I think everybody's going to find a match that they like because going through that card, so many cool different matches. You have ladder matches, you have no holds bar, you have a contender match, you have title matches. Like this card is setting up for AEW's WrestleMania and how AEW has been going as a whole has been nothing but phenomenal, I feel. And it has made me so much more invested in AEW where we were last year, where most of us, again, were starting to come around because they were figuring their stuff out. But Tony Khan has done his job, and I think Redemption is going to be his redemption arc to show why right now the AEW is no fly to swat at. This is a wrestling company that takes care of its wrestlers and is going to put on a hell of a show if you come and not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Absolutely. Now all we need to do is get you guys to come back to Prudential Center, damn it.
Oh, I was so upset because I would
Uh,
have loved that to be my first AEW show.
I I still have hope that they're going to show up. If they don't show up at Prudential Center
I
later
think
on
around
this
there.
year, probably it's probably going to show. Probably they only probably didn't go there. This is just my guess, but because they went to Brooklyn earlier in the year, they probably decided, okay, we'll do a different arena this time around. But I would be shocked if we don't get some kind of show at Prudential Center next year, probably early next year. I'm hoping one way or another, we're going to get you to an AEW show at some point. But that is a discussion for another day. But for now, those are our predictions for AEW Redemption. Now we're pitching over to you, our fellow fans. Who do you think is going to walk away to win here? Who, if any, are going to debut from the free agent market at AEW tonight? No matter what you think, let us know all across the internet. Join in the conversation yourself. Everywhere we are, we want to hear from you too. But you might be asking yourself, Scholar Jeff, where can I join the conversation? Where can I
Where?
drop you a
Where,
line?
Jeff? Where?
How? How do I do this?
How do we
Where?
do
How?
this?
So many questions. Well, you may have a lot of questions, but we have one answer for you. Linktree. Specifically, our Linktree. You can find us at our Linktree in the description box right below, or you can just hit Linktree/Scholars of Wrestling for all the different ways you can join in the conversation with us and different ways to support the show. So thank you very much. But with all that being said, I need to get some breath. I need to get ready for AEW Redemption. But we're going to be back next week because SummerSlam is right around the corner. But until then, you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
Welcome.
See you all for a little bit of redemption.